How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another video on my channel here. So today I just wanted to go through a quick little tutorial just for Assetto Corsa here. Something that I've been kind of messing around with the last couple days. I thought it might be helpful for some people that use the V8 Supercars in Assetto Corsa like I do. I drive these cars a lot, race them a lot, and one of the most tricky things I feel like a lot of people will agree with on this is getting these cars off the line efficiently and not getting a ton of wheel spin and sliding the car around. So the starts in Assetto Corsa, they're a little bit more tricky compared to something like iRacing where you have the line locker and you can hold your car in place really, really well on the start. Assetto Corsa, the handbrake on the supercars isn't quite as strong. And if you don't use the handbrake, it's very, very easy to roll a car forward. So I'm going to show you a technique that I've been using that will hopefully allow you to get straighter starts with less wheel spin. So we'll start it up here. We're just going to do some attempts here on the start line at Winton. So we will fire the car up here. I don't typically play in the chase cam, but I'm just going to use it so you can kind of see what the car does on each attempt I do with the different methods. So we'll put it in gear here and we'll roll around to the start finish line. So let's bring it around. I'll show you what I used to do before I started using this other technique. So like I said, in Assetto Corsa, the handbrake is not very strong in these cars. It doesn't really hold them in place super well. So here we are, we're on the line. We're in neutral. So I'll show you what'll happen if I put the car in first gear and I start revving it up. Like I'm barely giving it any throttle right now and it rolls forward. So put it back in neutral. So basically that eliminates that technique. You can't put it in first gear without the handbrake because you're going to roll forward. You're going to get a penalty for jump start. So that's completely off the table. So now the other thing you can do, the car is in neutral right now, so I can rev it up. So you see we're not getting any movement right now. So the car is in neutral, not going anywhere. So lights come on, we're sitting here, rev it up, lights go out, you got it revved up, and there you go. So we're off, and you can see how much wheel spin we get. The car is sliding around, it's not wanting to bite. And you just lost 3 spots on the start. So that's the way I used to do it. It's really, really hard. Sometimes you can't get decent starts if you modulate your throttle well enough and you hit the clutch bite points perfectly. It is very difficult though. It's pretty temperamental. So I'll show you here. We'll restart. We'll go back to the starting point here. I'll show you my new technique that I've been using. So it's pretty similar, like I mentioned earlier, to what you would do in iRacing. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to map your handbrake to just any button. It could be on your keyboard, it could be on your steering wheel, it doesn't really matter. Just any button that you have that's within reach, because you're going to be doing other things on the start, so you don't want to have something that's hard to access. So for me, I have a stick shifter, so I don't use the paddle shifters when I'm driving the V8 Supercars, so my paddle shifter buttons are available to be used for other controls. So right now I've got my handbrake mapped to my right trigger, so it's pretty convenient. So my left hand is on the shifter, and then I can have my right hand on the steering wheel holding the handbrake down. But like I said, it can be any button, whatever you want. So what we'll do here, we'll put the car in gear, bring it back to the start finish line. This is a little bit different from other sims. So like I said, I've mentioned countless times already, handbrake is not very strong on these cars in Assetto Corsa. So you can't let the clutch out as far as you could in something like iRacing. So what we'll do here, so we're parked up on the line, and so I'll put the clutch in. So now we're in first gear. So remember what I showed you earlier. So without the handbrake, if you put it in first gear and start revving it up, you don't even have to let the clutch out. The car will start rolling forward. So now I'm holding down my right trigger. So I've got the handbrake on, so I can start revving the car up. And you can see we're not moving. It's totally still. So start revving the car up a little bit. and now I'm actually letting the clutch out a bit as well. So we're getting it revved up. I'm slowly releasing the clutch further, drop the handbrake, and you still get a little bit of wheel spin. I probably could have been a little bit more careful with the throttle application there, but you can see just how much more straight that launch was, and there was definitely less wheel spin compared to what you had when you're just taking the car out of neutral straight into first gear. So we'll do that one more time just because I feel like that wasn't the best example. Like I said, I'm still learning this. I'm not an expert by any means. I'm just trying to help some people out that maybe were struggling with this as well. So we'll come back here. It also doesn't help that the tires are cold. You can put on, like I haven't driven at all, so my tires are still not up to temperature. You can use the tire blankets if you want to have a bit more temperature in them. So here we are on the start line. We'll go into the cockpit cam here. So here we are. First gear, clutch is still in. So now I'm holding my handbrake down. Start revving it up here. Just release the clutch a tiny little bit. Gradually release it, get it revved up. There you go, drop your handbrake, and you're off. And again, so much more straight than without the handbrake, and a lot less wheel spin. So hopefully that was helpful for some people, because I know these cars, well, I mean, they're very hard to drive in general, but especially getting the starts down, it can be quite challenging. They obviously, with all that power and everything going to the rear wheels, they don't want to grip up. But yeah, hopefully that was helpful. If you guys have any other questions about doing the starts in these cars, or just about any other sort of driving related questions for the V8 Supercars, feel free to drop them in the comments below. And I'll see you guys in the next video.